Bastion.
I'll see you in the next one. Proper story's supposed to start at the beginning. Ain't so simple with this one. Now here's a kid whose whole world got all twisted, leaving him stranded on a rock in the sky. He gets up, sets off for the Bastion, where everyone agreed to go in case of trouble. Ground forms up under his feet as it pointing the way. He don't stop to wonder why. Finds his lifelong friend just lying in the road. Well, it's a touching reunion. He sees what's left of the rippling walls, years of work undone in an instant, in the calamity. That a survivor? No, ma'am. It's a gas fella, forced out from underground. Kid pops him good. Starts to feel his bruises, though. The kid just rages for a while. An old repeater falls out of the sky. Ain't a gift from the gods, but it'll have to do. Gotta hold her still to spin up the chamber. Kid's worked up quite a thirst by now, so that fountain looks real inviting. Sometimes you just need a drink. A school of squirts tunnels up around him. Must have fled here from the mines. He sets foot inside one of Zealandia's famous watering holes. Wait, haven't I? Anyway, Rondé's place just brings back memories. Then Kid finds his trusty shields. The security takes him for a petty thief. Clang! Shield saves his hide. Windbags start turning up for last call. More squirts start coming out of the woodwork. A big old fella pops out in front of the kid. Sees the way to the Bastion out the window. It's a bit of a drop.
I have played this recently, so I hopefully have a pretty decent feel on the...
He gets a good look at things on his way down. He lands on top of a breaker's bow, and it ain't broke. Kid spies a good perch for some target practice. He knows he should draw the string all the way back. Right back at you. The kid pockets a memento from a breaker, once the fastest man in the land. Good news is the emergency defenses still work. Bad news is they're aiming for the kid. distillery, right next to the arsenal. Tough part of town. One sip of the spirits in that distillery, and the kid'll feel like a new man.
I am playing this on a PS5 controller, and it's expecting it to be an Xbox controller, so I am going to screw up some of these things at some point in time. That way. Some of these don't come up until the New Game Plus, so.
The arsenal's where the kid can pick the best tools for the job. Some of them squirts birthing like crazy in a couple of corn bins. That one was Maud, the tutor. Once taught the kid good manners. He never used them, though. An old ferry barge sends the kid on his way. The Bastion's real close now. Wasn't long before the kid could loose an arrow, strong and true. Takes a chunk of alloy. The smell of barley and spoiled blueberries fills the air. Scumbags. Kid maybe shouldn't have done what he just did. Kid puts him out of his misery. Finds the core to the wharf district. He steals the city's heart. Might as well. Kid has a feeling he better get a move on. The place is starting to fall. Kid just keeps running. Somersaulting like crazy. At last, the skyway's in sight. Whisks him where he needs to go.
Yeah, I played this game a bunch of times. It's always fun.
Now the kid sees something stranger still. His mind races. Did anybody else survive? Sure enough, he finds another. He finds me. We talk for a spell.
Representing the city of Salem, yeah.
There's a bit of the Bastion's power in that crest, enough to point the way to the cores. All I tell him is to set that core of his on the monument there, then watch.
This game is kind of
And just like that, the Bastion comes alive. Starts growing again, growing stronger. Kid's gotta put its power to good use. Now the Bastion can send him even farther into the wild unknown. Kid ponders what to build.
Maybe I have to get it from Lost and Found or something like that.
Champagne's made with scumbag extract, hence the barley aroma and the nausea. Kid don't know what's out there waiting for him. The Skyway. Now the kid can ride the wind to distant lands.
But it requires you to basically, or it allows you to basically absorb health every time you hit something. So it's like the best way to keep your stuff all the way up to date.
The Wharf District. Folks sail deep into the boundless sea from here. The Bastion. Ceylandia's safe haven. Once the highest point in the city. Too bad it wasn't finished before the calamity struck. The Breaker Barracks. Many straight shooters learn their way here.
I should be able to do this first try because of how... I'm assuming that my bow is upgraded.
The Breakers used to come here for target practice. Used to play a little game. See who could bust the most targets and the fewest shots. He's focused. He's armed. And he's off. A perfect shot just happens in a flash. Solid performance.
You have to do...
Kid ain't had enough of the Breakers Barracks.
One together. I think that's
Takes practice, and a mighty strong bow helps too. He's feeling real proud of that show. I almost don't believe it when he says he passed the Breakers challenge. The Workman Ward. Them windbags used to keep the city humming along here. Now he lands at the intersection between bad and wrong. Ought to be a core down one of these twisted streets. But which one? Up north is where the gas fella foreman used to live, tending to his flock. No act gas fellas all dress alike. Kids wondering the same thing. And there it is, but it's locked down tight in an alloy cage. A blustery old foreman's keeping his fellas in check, almost like he's showboating for the crowd. Scumbag can digest just about anything. Except for this. It's quick for slicing and light enough to throw. They say even the most rambunctious squirts can be tamed. No sign of the core here. At least the kid got something for his trouble. Them squirts just don't know when to quit. Scumbags still feeding off the city's own trash. And there he is, the oldest scumbag of them all, Gershel. The calamity ain't done much for Gershel's sunny disposition. The rest of the path is gone for good, and his city crest won't bring it back. No core, no surprise. Like the gas fellas are hiding it from him. He heads for the east side, where windbags used to keep the local forge. Somehow that old forge is still standing. Inside the forge, Key can fine-tune those instruments of his.
Is that, do I have all of the upgrades for, okay, I don't quite have all the upgrades for, yeah, everything for the, nice. Okay, at some point I will go through here and
Core ain't here neither, so he's gotta guess again. And now there's a new marshal in town. He hears the whole place groan, but it's too tough to fall. Kid's ready to go, and his ticket out's right where he started.
yeah, I'll probably do
He comes back, just like I knew he would. The core hums in his pack. The monument's calling for it.
a ragged hood belonging to some ill-fated gas fella. Why are they playing the city of Ramshackle Reigns. No one knows. That's my controller. That's good.
The windbags used to be alright. Then the calamity took the floor out from under him. Kid does it again. Only fair he decides what we build next. The calamity saved some of my old books. Guess it's got a sense of humor. A lot of things need fixing up in this world, and we can start right here.
These are the last two. Awesome. Caliber. Okay, cool. I didn't.
You'd never guess those things been to the wilds and back.
So I think this is the next thing you get.
Toughest thing about using that gas can is keeping a grip on it.
3, I think.
Picked up traces of other cores while the kid was out.
Later. Yeah, very nice.
The melting pot. Place hoarded all sorts of fineries from beyond the boundless sea. In better days, the melting pot was sealed tighter than the skin on a squirt.
Amazing. I guess I need to find a cable. Alrighty, we are back. We are plugged in to a charger. Of course, everything in my desk is like plugged into the same OPS. So,
Of all the plans to survive the calamity, it had to be stabweeds. If there's a core, he figures it ought to be deeper down. He cuts down every stabweed like there's gonna be a prize for it. Blasted things hurt like a broken heart.
they're kind of shaped at this point.
Core stuck inside one of those fancy cages.
Getting rid of his medicine.
Some of the stuff lying around was downright dangerous.
I want to get rid of many of these things because stuff that's over here.
He throws a switch. Now what could possibly go wrong? Quite a bit, as it turns out. The cage starts lifting from the core ever so slow. All Kid can do is wait. Shipments start falling in. Not every squird's born bad. Some spring to the kid's defense. Judging by the movement of the cage, it's gonna take a little while. Scumbags don't take kindly to interlopers. Even some gas fellas take his corner. Heard it pop that mean old fork. At this rate, maybe 5 more minutes, maybe 30. Hard to tell. Squirts get real territorial around the core. Then a shipment of free samples shows up. It ain't all bad, as the kid finds some spices from the motherland, tax-free. One thing's for sure, that cage is awful heavy. Troublesome scene, to be sure. A few moments left, and the core goes free. 10, 9, 8, 7. You give or take a few more seconds. Finally, the core's within reach. And done. He's got it. Just gotta get to the nearest barge. I still remember the look on his face after that one. Folks voyaged across the boundless sea to found Caelondia. It was good living here for a while.
At this point, it's like very cool.
The old world's finished, but the new world's just getting started. The memorial. Here a kid can pay respect to the old world and earn it in kind. The valediction. Just another one of my sketches. Nothing more. The Sundown Path. Lovely place for a stroll. Before the calamity, that is. Couples used to walk the Sundown Path. Kid ain't here for pleasure, though. Somebody gets to the core before the kid. The floor starts giving way under the lightest step. The single panic squirt could bring the whole place down. Fragments giants of the old world reign in the sky. Thinks twice about risking his hide for him. Well, the path ain't exactly what the visitors don't know. Security's all fired up. Not so much for noise and tomfoolery. Sky bridges link the path together. One of them bridges whips the kid along. Finds a spyglass, like the ones they'd use to search the stars. The calamity changed everything, even where the wind blows. Well, if we mastered the winds in the old days, we can do it again. But the question is, who else could have taken the core? Well, ain't no survivor stole the thing. Scumbag ate it by mistake. Tough break. Unlike the kid, that core is coming back. No, they used to ship live munitions down the path. Wires to toss those things plenty far away. Even gas fellas need some shut-eye from time to time. They get real cranky when you wake them up. In all this toil, Kid keeps coming back to an overwhelming question. Who else could have survived the calamity?
Do we get to go to Zia now? I think so. Maybe? Potentially?
So we didn't find the core that time, but that ain't about to stop us. We could always see the stars. We just never could reach them, no matter how high we built. That's Trapper's Shingle, only place in the city to go to get certified with a repeater.
Should be able to do this in 1 or 2 tries. Maxed out Trapper Shingle.
No place better than Trapper's Shingle for learning to tread light and shoot straight. Trappers had to tread real careful here, else take a nasty fall. They train themselves by clearing out the targets, while not clearing out the floor. Any good trapper knows never to take a step till the time is right. A decent trapper wouldn't walk away empty-handed.
As I fucking fall.
Kid decides to keep working his aim and footwork on the shingle. Best time to pick a new spot was when swapping magazines. Master trappers got what they needed for a better hunt. The trappers would have been impressed with how the kid handled the shingle.
Yeah, that's right. At least I didn't finish it right. Off the edge.
The Hanging Gardens. Folks used to go here to relax from their relaxing.
Relax from their relaxing, huh?
The dead. The dead ain't gotta worry about this mess. The calamity took everybody after all.
Some of these people get named
Kid sees it plain, frozen faces all around.
when you smash them.
You don't much care to see him. Not like this. These folks never saw the calamity coming, but someone did. Someone close. Someone who ain't like Mr. Beckley and his kindly wife. It was someone like him. Something so familiar about that man. It's a snag or two trying to get to him. He ain't about to stop, no matter what. He's got so many questions after all. Just ain't got time for answers. The Thunder Brothers didn't make it. They never saw what it was like beyond the walls. Nor did the Bird Boy. Didn't make it. The Jawsons. They didn't make it. Grady Sr., Grady Jr. They didn't make it. But he survived. Kid finds proof enough that man ain't from around here. Just think, without that man, we wouldn't be here right now, would we? The core survived as well. And then,
Kitty.
what do you say to a man who's seen too much? Kid hasn't a clue, but he says this. We have to go. Please. He's a proper gentleman, that man. His name is Zolf. No hiding he's an Ura. Folks like him ain't never been a common sight in Caelondia. He's relieved to see a living face or two. The kid and I introduce ourselves in kind. Both to him and to each other. For the first time.
Oh, it's right. It's just they're strangers. Not us yet.
The cores. They remember. That's why this place is coming together. That's why things are gonna be alright. Well, look what we have here. For Zolf, Caelondia was like a second home. He's real worried about his first home, too. Far to the east. Zolf offers to help me plot the skyways for the kid. At least the calamity hasn't touched the stars, he says. He was born in the Tazzle terminals. The Ura sent him on a mission of peace to our city, and he's lived here ever since. We fought the Ura decades ago, but that was then. Things are different between us now. Lost and found. Here, kid takes fragments of the old world and makes them whole again.
Where is that?
All it takes is some fragments, and the Bastion makes it good as new. We all lost loved ones in the calamity, he says. I don't know how I'm gonna go on without mine. I tried to let the kid down gently. This is the Bastion, all right, except no one else showed up.
What was just one of them?
You don't want to know what he did to that thing, but believe me, it works. We tracked down a couple more cores near the edge of the city. There's Pith Orchard, built in honor of the bull, and folks like Zolf who pray to him. The gods, they're all undone.
Like if I just fly from places and just take a nap.
Pith Orchard. Place is a dead end in more ways than one. Folks used to make pilgrimage here to pay their respects to Pith, the bull. Well, the gods are long gone now, and the Orchard core is long gone too. It seems Pith ain't much of a watchdog. The gods don't care about trinkets, but the kid ain't no god. Pith stood for something once. Something real. In time, though, the bull stopped being a symbol and started being decoration. Pith makes a decent scarecrow, at least. Ain't easy punching through his hide. Must have been guarding that shrine. So what'll it be? Invoke the gods, or tell them off? Kid don't need favors from the likes of Pith. On second thought, maybe he does. Hensa. Pith. Javel. Messia. Well, if the gods are alive, they must be plenty sore. Kid ain't never seen windbags that quick. Maybe old Pith put a scare in him. Passes Pith's trial, and he's richer for it. Kid ain't found a core, but at least he found Zolf's precious shrine. Zolf doesn't touch the thing. Says the god of commotion is no children's toy. The Ura feared the gods. We turned them into toys, put their faces on our walls. Turn 'em round and round all you like. Pith's still gonna be ugly. Can't be too careful these days.
Hasn't really done much with having the gods invoked in this game, because like it doesn't end up really being worth it a whole lot unless they're like all invoked, and that's kind of brutal. So we'll try this.
The accused always got a fair shake in Zealandia. Some used to take the bullhead trial.
We will see if I can
Survive the trial without taking a scratch, you'd walk away a free man.
this one, because I think two.
Court is back in session for the kid.
That gas falls.
Old ritual for when folks believed there was this godlike bull watching over them. Had to make do with nothing but a shield. Just step aside and let things go. A lot of folks never made it out of there in one piece.
Actually, if I could do that without the idols.
past the Bullhead Court, folks defended themselves there with shields, not words.
Okay, let's try it again. If I don't, I'll just do it without the idols invoked, because I can probably do it first or second try that way. I guess they might give you the extra shards.
Step aside and let things go. The kid pulls through in fine form.
Yeah, it's like 2, I think, or 3 maybe.
Well, the kid always wanted to compete in the Bullhead trial.
I think that if I don't have any of the shrines, because the shrines make it hard, because a lot of times if you get the perfect thing, you damage the opponent, and then they damage you, and so kind of.
That's Cinderbrick Fort, where the marshals used to watch over the city. There's only one way to Cinderbrick Fort. The hard way. Sure, the city marshals may be gone, but now the fort's crawling with windbags. Wham! Kid's ready for the windbags this time. mercy of normal folks. The windbags ain't so lucky. They've been left to freeze or starve or face the kid. Well, windbags young and old keep fighting for the fort. Kid can't hardly tell up from down after a while. At least the marshals left the kid a parting gift. Something the windbags just can't handle. Something that'll punch clean through their greasy hides. Windbags ain't much different from normal folks. All they want's a warm place to stay and a decent meal. Calamity drove the windbags topside. A lot of them wound up here in this very fort. Could have been minding their business underground like in the old days. Windbags can't use the marshal supplies, but the kid sure can. stashes the marshal's prize. Goes back to something more his style. Cinder Brick gave him enough heat and metal to munch on for a while. Well, the fort ain't theirs by right. Can't blame them for wanting it, though. So many of those sorry things holed up inside that old fort. Kid's stash of grenades is there for him if things get even worse. Security's plane gone haywire. Windbags gummed up the works. Afraid of getting burned. They trapped the kid in the middle of the force parade grounds. Bring out Plutus and Glandon, all that scumbag. Something to gain, only their sorry eyes to lose. And that's why Cinder Brick's got such a bad reputation. The fort's still standing there, waiting for the kid, mocking him. Sure, the city marshals may be gone, but now the fort's crawling with windbags. Wham! Kid's ready for the windbags this time. The calamity was mercy on normal folks. The windbags ain't so lucky. They've been left to freeze or starve or face the kid. Good thing the windbags don't know the kid's fresh out of health tonics. Well, windbags young and old keep fighting for the fort. At least the marshals left the kid a parting gift. Something the windbags just can't handle. Something that'll punch clean through their greasy hides. Windbags ain't much different from normal folks. All they want's a warm place to stay and a decent meal. The calamity drove the windbags topside. A lot of them wound up here in this very fort. have been minding the business underground like in the old days. Windbags can't use martial supplies, but the kid sure can.
Not as effective as a warning, but very effective as this. Kinda wanna go.
As for the windbags, Cinderbrick gave them enough heat and metal to munch on for a while. Well, the fort ain't theirs, am I right? Can't blame them for wanting it, though. So many of those sorry things holed up inside that old fort. Not a scratch on him as he presses on to higher ground. Blasting everything in sight with that newfangled musket. Security's plane gone haywire. Windbags gummed up the works. scumbag uncles. Kid takes down Plutus. Maybe it was Glandon. They got something to gain, and only their sorry hides to lose. Finally get the message. Kid used to dream of getting a marshal's badge, but not like this. The Skyway's a welcome sight after all that. And now ain't nothing left for nobody down at Cinderbrick Fort. Kid shows up just as Zulf's telling me about his own journey to the city. Seems the only thing the Calamity saved for Zulf was his smoking pipe. The marshals seem like good men, he says. They treated him with dignity. Zulf brought his antique smoking pipe all the way from the terminals. Even since the Ura surrendered to us, the marshals kept a wary eye on him. Zulf's travels ain't much compared to what the kids had to go through for all this. Live wine so rich, they say it's brought men back from the brink for one last taste.
So these I think I have all of these things.
Finders keepers. First step to learning the Calamity Cannon is knowing about the machinery overrides. The gods never liked competing for people's affections.
Okay, we should be able to do this because I've got this grab kit.
Ever felt a Zolwood gourd, like picking up broken glass barehanded? At Zolwood Grove, marshals learned to make every shot count. The trick was to pop all those nasty gourds without wasting ammo.
Yeah, so if I remember right,
Most marshals didn't get far on their first few tries. Catch a bunch of those gourds in a single shot. Funny thing about muskets is they work best up close. Best of the best cleared the course in just a few shots.
one from the
Kid probably could have made himself marshal one day.
probably
That's Zolwood Grove. A nice quiet place to show a musket a good time.
to show a musket a good time.
That's the scrapyard, where folks got to smash things and call it community service.
I'm gonna try to
The city's unwanted things all met their end in the yard. Folks who fouled up would do their time here, smashing things to bits.
Oh, there's the last
The quicker they worked, the sooner they could go. Folks learned to plant their feet and put their backs into it. Others would plot a course to navigate that sea of junk. A good day's smashing can feed a family for a week.
Try it one more time. I'll try it.
Kid pays another visit to the scrapyard for old time's sake. Worked too slow and all you got was a sore back. Some folks invested their earnings to forge even better hammers. Ever want to just smash things for a while? You know where to go. That's the Langston River. Used to cut all the way to the wild. Think it was bad then. The Langston River flowed free and wild till the calamity drank it all up. Maybe all that water just drew wings from the law. Riverbanks swarming with windbags. The river ain't never been safe for swimming. They're so bent on finding the core they hardly notice the kid. Lucky for him, a certain famous ferry barge is still afloat. She'll send some squirts crying home as she leaves port. Maybe Nellie knows the way to the core. Maybe she can slip right past all the clamor on the coast. Or maybe not. A security skiff pulls up portside. Nellie's just another windbag to those guns. Just then, the windbags notice who she's sailing with. They try to cut her off. They try to slow her down. Try to knock her out. But Weepin' Nellie tries harder. Try as she might, though, she hits a snag. Kid's gotta help her get untangled. Favors for favors. She picked a good spot for a break, 'cause the core's right there. Then the kid hears an unusual sound, like 100 flapping wings. They've been watching his every move. They had their own eyes on the core, but why? Well, kid ain't got time to think it over just yet. He finds Weepin' Nellie raring to go. Turns out she's got a special surprise for when the waters get rough. She's gonna need a little help with all them peckers. Traffic things think they're king of the roost now. The rest of us only wish we could fly in times like these. Security skiffs keep on coming starboard side. Don't seem to care what they shoot, as long as they hit something. smashed with the Nelly splinters. Well, it all proves too much for poor Nelly. She's just gotta make one last stop. With her last breath, Nelly gets the kid to solid ground. Solid ground in Picker country. They want that core real bad. Might be they want it just as bad as a kid. Kid shoots him off, knowing they'll be back. Know how many times kid nearly fell off the barge back there? A good couple of times. Now, listen close. You should remember this next part. Why go to Prosper Bluff? Used to take an enterprising man or a plain old fool to venture out that far. The city was the most beautiful place in the world. We all knew that. But on the other hand, some folks just yearn to see the things they're told they can't. And that's why you go to Prosper Bluff, ain't it? There the kid hears something he ain't heard in a long while. How's it go again? That's the one. Timeless. explaining what happens next, right? Suffice it to say, kid ain't coming home empty-handed. And besides, it's like the song goes.
To the sky. Someday your bird is gonna fly. Gonna build that wall until it's done. Gonna build that wall until it's done. But now you got nowhere to run. So build that wall and build it strong, 'cause we'll be there before too long.
They'll be here before too long. We darn near celebrated when the kid got back, didn't we? Zolf never thought he'd see a fellow Ura again. We become fast friends. Calamity has that effect on people. But there was more to be done. There was one last core to find.
I wonder what happens if you just don't give Zolf the book.
Kid's surprised when I tell him there's only one core left. I shouldn't have believed it either.
He finally, for all his time,
Most of the Ura never got a taste of Ceylondia's fine goods, unless they were born and raised in the city like Zia here. Sure, the world's all gone to pieces farther than the eye can see, but leave it to this gal to point out the amazing view. Girl tried to run away from home one time, but the marshals stopped that, didn't they? So many secrets in there and she can't even read it. Her father's own journal.
I'm gonna see what happens if you don't show the book to Zolf. I'm gonna see what happens if you don't show either of them.
A scientific journal written in Zolf's native tongue. He learned so much from it. Too much.
Damn it.
If only I'd known half the secrets of the Calamity were tucked away in that book, I'd have worked to translate it right away. We tracked the final core beyond the city to the wilds. Prosper Bluff, fine view up there. The city to the west, and to the east, the wild unknown.
It probably doesn't change anything. They probably still, because I mean that's like major plot for the.
That's the edge of the wilds, where Jawson and his boys disappeared. The wild unknown. Place can eat a man alive. Place is so raw, even the Calamity couldn't cook it. Not all of it. Know what's better than having a slinger pistol in a fight? Having two. Savage things lurking at every turn. It's faster than a slinger with those guns. Pin cushions ain't the worst of it either. Good thing pin cushions can't see where they're shooting. Pecker's got the core, like they're building a bastion of their own. The welcoming committee scrambles to attention. Expect the kids so soon. In time, we charted the wild unknown, but we kept the name. Place is so raw, even the Calamity couldn't cook it. Not all of it. You know what's better than having a slinger pistol in a fight? Having two. Savage things lurking at every turn. Kiss faster than a slinger with those guns. Pin cushions ain't the worst of it either. Pecker's got the core, like they're building a bastion of their own. The welcoming committee scrambles to attention. Didn't expect the kids so soon. They shouldn't have let their guard down. Getting that core was one thing. Getting out's gonna be another. He digs his way out of the clearing, but the wilds won't let him go without a fight. All too easy to lose one's way out in the wilds. Wallflowers survived the Calamity. It toughened him up. Same goes for the kid. Best take it real slow when pin cushions are afoot. Don't ever turn your back on a pin cushion. Slinger Johnson's old outpost is all that's left of him. A handful of windbag shipments made it out this far. Kid's seen the last of them. Pow gives a wallflower a taste of its own medicine. Kid's roused up half the wild by now. boss's boys left all kinds of stuff out here. He gets the feeling he's being watched. Not by me, by a lunkhead. And lunkheads ain't fond of two-legged animals. Get him anywhere but the hindquarters and he only make him mad. The Calamity must have scrambled their eggs. Wild green pineapples about the only good thing out here. Hardly any signs of the old Jawson camp. The Wilds already reclaimed this place. He's anxious to get back. After all, he's got the final core. His journey's over, right? Well, no, it ain't. Not by a long shot. Kid knows something's up when we ain't there to give a warm welcome. See, Zolf and I were just wrapping up a heated discussion. Zolf can barely muster the words. The Calamity failed, he says, but I will not. And with that, Zolf leaves us here, alone. When Zolf got through reading that journal, he just snapped. Started smashing up the monument till I tried to stop him. Zolf cursed the city, cursed the Bastion, cursed me, said he was going home. Zolf banged up the monument pretty bad. But there's a way to put it back together. The shards. We're gonna need all of them to nurse the Bastion back to health. The city brought the shards to the Wilds. Now the kid's gonna bring them back.